if she ever sees that video, she'll start writing Mary and calling Mary to bug her so she can get it delivered. But really good stuff. We have that kind of, those kind of moments and memories being created all the time. It's nice to highlight those things. So listen, the section Mandeep and I are covering here, it's called The Power of You. So, what could that mean? It means this is about you, right? We've been talking about how you create the moments and memories for our customers. Let's talk a little bit about the why and a little bit about the how as well, okay? To start with just a quick refresher. You may have seen this chart before. It really starts in 2016 with Oscar's realization and his direction and him creating a strategy to re-earn the trust of our employees across every single department at United Airlines, 90,000 plus employees strong. And we got after that. Certainly it's always a work in progress, right? You guys have been around a little bit. You know that it's a work in progress. We're going to keep doubling down on that. But really, really an important foundation to everything we're going to do in the future. The next thing is we all got super focused on our operating performance. And in 2017, I'm proud to say, because of you, we were #1 in D0 in the world, literally. That's you. Look at that happen. Facts. And then, shortly thereafter, Scott Kirby came on board, started looking at the commercial side of the business a bit, and launched our growth plan. And, I think all of us agree, the growth was marvelous, it's exceptional. We have a lot of newer employees here because of the growth, and we have a pathway here to keep growing for some time that you'll hear as we go through the session here further, but it's fantastic. And sort of linked in that same time frame, but then also continued into 2019 and to date, was the introduction of the Core 4, right? Which for me was like pumping oxygen in the room. I think that was fantastic for us as well. And here we are sort of building on the Core 4 to talk about how we together further transform the way customers, how they perceive United Airlines, us, and our brand. Okay? Just a little refresher. Now I want to make a point here real quick. I mentioned in 2017, we really got our act together from an operating perspective. I could show a lot of different stats here. But on-time performance is a sort of cornerstone expectation from customers. And you can see in 2017, best in the industry with some real fierce competitors. Since then, we're slipped into #2. But honestly, we've had a lot of growth, and that affects things a bit from a capability perspective. But also, we have been exposed to a lot of weather. That still is top tier, still is extraordinary, and realize that. And our customers expect that. But you know what's more interesting, and this is one of the big punchlines here. When you look at, for instance, J.D. Power, how customers perceive United Airlines, being on time is an expectation and is a real table stake, but it doesn't get us all the way there regarding how customers perceive United, how they feel about our brand. Look at that. That doesn't feel good for anybody, right? We don't want to be in that position. So the next question is, where do we go from there?
Thank you, John. So I'll talk about what does great service really look like. It really does begin with us trying to understand who are our customers. And when you look at our global footprint, it's actually pretty amazing. We serve 162 million customers every year. That's about 425,000 a day. We serve 59 countries across the globe. And when we look at our customer distribution, about 17% of our customers are comprised of actually families with young kids. And then about 20% of our customers in these days are actually basic economy. A really wide distribution in terms of who we are serving. But a very important statistic actually is that 70% of our customers, that's 70, actually only fly us once a year. So what does that mean? That means that 70% of those customers are actually dealing with a lot of stress. They're not used to traveling. They don't know how to maneuver through our airports. They don't understand our procedures and our processes. So they have anxiety, right? But at the same time, and how we deal with these customers may actually have a lasting impression on them and may actually convert them to become, dedicated United flyers, so that the next time they think about flying, they actually think about United. So that's a really important and a very interesting statistic for all of us to remember when we are at the airports and we're, boarding our flights. And then when we're boarding our flights, when you look at the customer base, again, they're traveling for different reasons. You may have a premium customer who's a frequent traveler, but going to close a business deal is stressed out. You have someone who may unfortunately be traveling for not a very good incident, such as a funeral of a loved one. And then you have families that may be taking their young kids to Disney for the first time and really hoping to have a memorable experience. But again, they've got strollers, they've got car seats, all the anxiety that they're feeling obviously drives a lot of stress at the airports and at the gates, and you guys are very well familiar with that. But what does that mean? It's like just knowing and acknowledging that these customers are dealing with that anxiety is where our empathy comes in, which I know you guys do so well every day. But that empathy to every customer, every flight, every day leads to what our service mantra is becoming, which is regardless of who they are, every customer, every flight, every day, we will take care of you. The other aspect to remember is why this is important is every customer has a voice. And that voice basically impacts our brand. And as you know, customers make that voice known through various ways these days. It's through surveys, and it's also through social media, which is really, really growing across and is becoming extremely powerful. So in order to measure the impact that people have on our brand, we do a survey that's called the Net Promoters Survey, or NPS as it's called, in which we ask basically this question, is how likely are you to recommend United to a friend or a neighbor or a relative? And this is no different from, like, if someone were to come to town and ask you, hey, where can I go? What restaurant would you recommend? What restaurant do you normally recommend? One that you've been to, that you enjoy, that, you'll say, yeah, you must go to that restaurant. This is similar, right? And when we ask people that question, we want them to be our promoters. Our promoters are those that basically say, Fly United, they're a great airline, right? Those are promoters. We have some people that are neutral. They're kind of indifferent to whether they're going to recommend United or not. And then we have, if anyone on this survey gives us a 0 to 6, those are what we call detractors. And they're the ones who are basically saying, giving us a thumbs down, right? That's how we measure the impact of our brand. Now, the scale of a Net Promoter Score, or NPS, can range anywhere from a -100 to a +100. That means that when we did this survey, and if everyone gave us a thumbs up, we would have a score of 100. If everyone that we surveyed gave us a thumbs down, that would give us a score of a -100. So let me ask you all this question. What do you think we achieved in 2019 as a company? Well, if you had to guess what the score is, what would you guess? Wild guesses.
-50.
7? 38? 49? 45?
-50.
65, I think someone said. Our score was 3.2. That means we had as many promoters as detractors. We're kind of right in the middle. Now, I know this is not the number we want to see, but the good news is we did actually move the dial. We were previously in the red, we were in the negative, and we moved it to the positive. And the good news is with all the things that we're doing, and we collectively are going to do, this is going to keep moving up. We are optimistic about that. And if everyone out here makes an impact on one customer a day, we can continue to turn this dial. We are very positive about that. So, but how are we changing how people feel about United? We're changing by listening to our customers in terms of what they want from us. Customers told us they want a better onboard product. So what are we doing about that? We are making some big investments. We are investing with our onboard product in terms of seats, the interiors, with Wi-Fi. We're continuing to build that reliability and trying to ensure that the inside of our planes feel good. Customers told us that they want better meal options. So what are we doing about that? We are changing our meal offerings, with better presentations, better food offerings, as well as we're giving our premium customers the choice to pre-order. That means that we're testing this right now, but up to 5 days prior to someone's departure, the premium customers will get an email that tells them they can select a meal choice. That way, what does that do? It basically means that when they get on board, that we're not having to tell a customer who said they wanted a arugula salad, I'm sorry, I don't have a arugula salad. If they want it, we want to be able to give it to them. That's what helps customer satisfaction. Customers told us they want a better gate and boarding experience. And we are delivering on that. As many of you know, I believe we have some team folks here from Cleveland, right? They were the first ones who saw that. Thank you for all your feedback because you helped us get better at this. We introduced a boarding process as well as we're changing and making investments in our gates. I know we've got a group of people here from O'Hare. In the next couple of months, you're going to schematically see some changes happening in the banana gates. And this transformation is going to continue in terms of we're changing the look and feel of our gates. And in terms of seating, in terms of lighting, in terms of facilities that we provide to our customers, it's going to look and feel different. But one other thing I want to touch upon is what will impact the experience is the aircraft bins. So what creates anxiety in our boarding process today? Bags. People line up well before because they want to get in the front of the line so that they can get their bag on board. This is a pain point we know, not just for our customers, but for all of you out here. And you deal with this on a daily basis. Well, we are very happy to tell you that we're making a major investment, and we are going to install bins one for every customer as we move forward. And that
That's so
That process is going to start this year, and it's going to rapidly continue through the course of the next couple of years. A huge investment, which will obviously make the whole gate experience feel different. We are investing at the same times in tools to help you as well as help our customers by providing them better information. One thing that I am sure all of you have heard through the course of 2019, at least the latter half, was Connection Saver, right? Everyone heard about what we did with Connection Saver.
Yeah.
Do you know we launched that in the middle of 2019, and during the course of the latter half of 2019, we were rolling it out hub by hub. Just in that period alone, we saved 93,000 customer connections through Connection Saver, where the average hold time was 6 minutes. These are 93,000 customers that previously were missing out on their flights, and then you had to deal with them. Whether you were at the call centers or you were at the airports, you were having to handle these customers. This has been a powerful tool and has really impacted how customers have felt, and hopefully you have also felt that it has made it a bit easier for you at the airport. So very happy about that. So lots of investments in tools and product. Ultimately, though, everything when we look at the data tells us that it's you, it's all of us collectively that make the difference on how customers feel about United. The reality is we can make a lot of investments, and like I shared with you, in terms of what we're doing with the bins, we're really excited about all these product investments we're making. Unfortunately, those changes cannot happen overnight. And we're looking to make the change sooner than later. Product investments will take us a year, 2 years. But what can change overnight? What can change? What can make our customers feel different overnight is that feeling of empathy, that feeling of us smiling, of taking care of them. That's what drives the change. And that's how they're going to feel different. When we looked at our customer, and the reason I say the data tells us a lot of really interesting information is when we do the customer satisfaction survey, basically CSAT, you see this in your break rooms, you see it on Flying Together, that number. We ask our customers, how satisfied were you with your flight, right? And if they give us a 4 to 5, that means they're satisfied. What do you think our number was in 2019? Percentage of customers that gave us, it's like Uber rating of 4 or 5. Any guesses? 3? 55%. The number was 65%. 65% of the customers gave us basically, or 4 or 5 that they were satisfied with their flight. We've got a ways to go though, because as John mentioned, we do have a gap to our competition. Here's the interesting, again, what the data is telling us. When we take care of our customers, when they compliment us, the CSAT jumps up like 10 to 15 points. It's pretty powerful, and when you look at how the comments come from the customers, the data shows again and again, if we kind of genuinely take care of them, smile at them, or the way you're answering the phone, it impacts how they feel. And when they fill out the survey, that CSAT is 10 to 15 points higher. On the other hand, when we get complaints, our CSAT drops 20 to 40 points. That's a pretty negative impact. So we know also when people talk, and I've traveled a lot. I've had the privilege of working in airport operations for a couple of years under John's leadership, and with a great team. Saw the impact that you guys are making, and I know when situations go tough, like when we have IROPS, how difficult it is. But that's when the customers tell us, if we can just take care of them, it could be as simple as smiling at them, reassuring them that we'll get them to their destination. Coming around from the podium and just talking to them, making that eye contact, making them feel good. Regardless of whether the flight is delayed, they rate us so much higher. We just have to make them feel good about it. Likewise, when they're calling our call centers, how we address those calls impacts them. Sometimes it's just okay. It's okay for them to just know when we say, it's okay, we will take care of you. Simple words like that drive higher satisfaction scores. So before I hand back to John, I just want to say thank you so much. Your job, we know, is not easy. We truly, truly appreciate everything you do. Thank you for helping us get to where we are. And thank you for continuing on this journey with us. We're going to win, and we're going to be number one.
We're not done. Well said, Mandy. I want to just pause on this slide that you see here and read that headline. I think this is a really important factor for us, and space where we know that we can realize some change. Okay, and we are really good. We are really good, but we got to get better. I would suggest if you just reflect by putting yourselves in the shoes of customers, or maybe even thinking about any sort of customer service interaction you've had ever where things didn't go great. When somebody connected with you, was pleasant, right, showed some empathy, maybe the conclusion was still not exactly perfect for you, but when they made that connection and that interaction was memorable, it makes a difference. You got to know that our customers are telling us that. All right? Okay? Super important. We have the tools in our toolbox, not only really passionate, very qualified coworkers around the globe, you and otherwise, but Core 4, like I said before, for me, that was like oxygen for us. Putting caring in the right place, its rightful place, was really important. And I'll say that was a couple years ago. We've been through 2 rounds of training to include caring connections. We're really trying to make it part of our DNA. As Oscar always says, proof not promise, right? It's a journey. There's work to do there still, so that you feel like you're fully supported and you're cared for, so you can do the right thing for our customers. But it's a tool in our toolbox, and I'll mention as well, it also should act as a lens for you as you're handling customer interactions. All right? Making sure that for the right reasons, that we're not prioritizing something, if it's in the dependable category, over something that weighs better, more heavily in the caring category. Obviously, safety is always first, right? Use this as a lens, please. Super important. We also, as Mandeep alluded to, we're doing better and better and better at listening to our customers. The data is better than ever. There's really good free-flowing information, not just in the traditional means, but as you'll hear over the next couple of days within social media, which all you are very tuned into, we have great capability as an airline to listen to our customers. And they are giving us feedback. It's incumbent upon us to listen to the feedback carefully and understand together, how we react to, to the desires of our customers. So we can change that perception. And tomorrow we're going to have breakout sessions that will address, this is real feedback by the way, breakout sessions where you'll be able to engage and collaborate around this sort of feedback and what we can do differently. All right? But remember, go back to the core four, right? Also remember the caring connections. It's simple for a reason. We're not, I think you've all been through the training. I have too. I went through it twice with frontline employees. It was fabulous. Simple, right? Warm greeting. In my class that I was in, a handful of people said, I always give a warm greeting. I would say let's question that and make sure that you do it. Everybody, right? Professional attitude and a professional image. Always remember that that's important to our customers and it helps with that interaction. Making connections. That's your personality. That's, that's finding an opportunity to talk to a customer because maybe they alluded to an event, a wedding they're going to or something like that. Talk about it a little bit with them. Make that connection. Okay? Find a way to make a connection. And showing gratitude. Just saying thank you for your business. However, you're all brilliant people with great personalities. However you feel comfortable showing that gratitude, you've got to show gratitude. Okay? So remember, you have these tools. And then, remember, also, this is a shift for us. Every customer, every flight, every day, they have a shift. Right? Super important. We're real good. We've gotten real good at all the operational things, the things I call transactional. We need to get better at the interactions. Okay? Super important. And that's what this is all about. That's what the next couple of days are all about as well. All right? Thank you. Good to see everybody. Thank you, Mandy, as well.